Today we will talk about the war between Russia and Ukraine and its effects on political landscape. And since we're in Canada, let's start with Canadian role in this war. What can you tell?
I think Canada is quite firmly in support of the Ukrainian war effort. All parties are in general agreement about supporting Ukraine. There is a current rhetoric that the conservatives are against Ukraine. That's not true. The conservatives are just filibustering the liberal end of year bill. And the way you filibuster in America, the traditional filibuster, is you just keep talking. The image of Rand Paul ranting on for 3+ hours about drone striking. How you filibuster in Canada is you force a line by line vote on every single thing in the budget of the bill, and you just vote no. So if you put these gigantic omnibus bills with thousands of pages, the conservatives to filibuster can go, okay, line one, we're forcing a vote on just this particular line and shenanigans. And then some of those lines will say, something about kids or Ukraine or this or that. And then the media and the liberals will say, look, the conservatives hate children or dogs or Ukraine or the planet or air or flowers or the color green or whatever it is they're voting on to filibuster. So the current rhetoric of, the conservative party's turned against Ukraine is, well, no, they're just filibustering the giant omnibus bill for carbon tax reasons. But you have widespread support traditionally among the Canadian public for our allies. We are not America. Philosophically, America's always been philosophically much more isolationist. You saw this in both world wars where they did not join immediately. Things had to physically affect them before they joined. So the string of isolationism has never really been dominant in Canadian politics. You're seeing it now in like the Maxime Bernier PPC crowd, but again, they are not gaining momentum off of this strategy. They're actually losing momentum, and they were down at 2-3% beforehand. And their sort of ultra populist isolationist approach on Ukraine has not won them any real support among the Canadian population. So, in terms of Canada's view on Russia-Ukraine, the Canadian public is on the side of the Ukrainians. The worry one should have, though, if you do support Ukraine is, I would say, twofold. First, and this one's getting better, the level of aid to Ukraine it needs to be in for a penny and for a pound. Okay, we're starting to see F-16s, long-range weapons. You can't. It's unsustainable to just throw money at Ukraine for small arms to keep the Russians at bay. If you're going to support Ukraine, the pragmatic thing to do would be to give them high-grade weapons technology to actually deter and defeat the Russians, which is, if you want to spend less money and minimize casualties, a quicker, more effective solution is always preferred. But we did it in piecemeal because we were emotionally blackmailed by, I would say, idiots and Russian propagandists of, oh no, if you send weapon X to Ukraine, it's going to escalate. What do you mean escalate? It's a full-scale war. Like, what do you mean escalate? Russia invaded and it's a full-scale war. Where is the escalation? Right? So there was a lot of blackmail on that part. And the other danger is sort of, fatigue. Canadians just getting tired and saying, oh, why haven't the Ukrainians won? This isn't my thing. And where democracies are, subject to the will of the people, autocracies are not. So Putin can say, all right, I'll stay there for 5 years. I'll take convicts and undesirables, use them as human wave tactics and meat shields to wear down the Ukrainians, and then, throw in my forces after. Like, the way he's conducting the war is, again, throwing prisoners and undesirables and, at one point it's the Wagner, into the teeth of Ukrainian defense. And then when they're sort of worn down and they finally gain some ground, they send in their real troops. So it's a rather, horrific way to conduct a war.